In this video we are going to see how to create new scenarios and how to compare them. In this scenario that I have created here, that is named Urban Block 01, we have all of this geometry, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new scenario, so I'm going to name it as Urban Block 02, and I am going to modify the geometry. Since I am going to carry out several changes, I am going to modify the size of the blocks, the size of the super blocks, the angle of the grid. I want to lock my geometry so that all of these changes are not affecting it until I unlock it. So I have to go here to this lock icon, click on it, and now you see the geometry is locked. And now I can go back to the beginning and modify the program parameters, such as the global floor area ratio, the build average per dwelling, also the density. I am going to modify the angle of the grid, and I am going to set it down to 0. And I am going to also make my blocks bigger on the X direction, and also the super blocks bigger on the Y direction. So now I am going to unlock my geometry, and CityPlane will carry out all of these modifications within the master plan. So now you see we have a slightly different scenario here, and now I am going to save it, and then I will go to the scenarios tab, so that if I click on this tab I can access all the scenarios that I have created within this particular project, and then I will compare them using the comparator. So if I go here now, then I can visualize all the scenarios that I have within this project, and if you remember, we have created Urban Block 01 and then Urban Block 02 to compare them, and all of these scenarios that I have created are here because I was explaining every single stage of the master plan. So now if I want to compare this one to this one, I have to go to the comparator, and I have to select the first scenario that I want to compare, and then also the second scenario that I want to compare. So now we are comparing the territory balance, so we see general features about the master plan, the urban structure, current building areas, open spaces, and as you can see we have always here a general table that is showing us generic data, but if we click on detailed figures, in this case open spaces, we will have a lot of data of every single open space that we have created for scenario number 1 and scenario number 2. We can also compare facilities, tertiary uses, residential blocks, and again you have here all the blocks belonging to scenario number 1 and number 2. And then we can also compare parking features and road network features. But besides comparing all of these figures and this data, we can go up at the beginning and compare the cost plan if we hit on this button here. So now, as you can see, we are able to compare the setup cost, the cost of the road network system or open spaces, facilities. Also you have each one of these categories that you can compare, tertiary uses, infrastructures, residential blocks, and obviously the total amount. So comparing the geometry, comparing the figures, and comparing the cost plan, you can pretty much improve your decision making and take the best decision to select the master plan scenario that behaves better. So I think that's enough to compare scenarios and create new scenarios. So thank you very much guys for listening, and see you guys in the next video.